what I love are the people. People, having lived in Brixton, which I, everywhere that I've lived in London, it's my favourite place to have lived. It's the fact that there are just so many diverse communities, but there is that sense of community as well, where people get together when it absolutely matters and work together as well. So it is about people, it's about the attitude. Just a couple of nights ago, I was outside outside Iceland in Brixton, where we were commemorating the April attacks in 1999, both in Brixton, Brick Lane, and in Soho. This racist and homophobic person killed people because they didn't look like him and they didn't love like him. And the coming together and remembering what was incredibly moving. 18 months ago, I wrote a report called Growing Hungry, which was about identifying the issues of childhood hunger in London. And I wrote it in consultation with a lot of charities and people who've been working really hard on this issue. And one of my recommendations in that report was that we should have the mayor should provide, particularly during this cost of living crisis, universal free school meals. The mayor listened and he took that on. And as you know, universal free school meals came into being in September 2023. I lobbied and we had it, we've had another announcement for the next year. And the manifesto was launched yesterday for Sadiq Khan. And it is absolutely up there at the top of the list. Universal free school meals for all state primary school children will continue during the next mayoral term if Sadiq is re-elected. This previous term, I've been the Labour spokesperson for the Economy Committee, which is quite influential from City Hall with the investigations that we do. And in the last year, I've also been the chair of that committee. And we've looked and really done deep dives into issues affecting Londoners. So what I will do is, particularly for my constituents, and if I am the economy lead again, I will be looking and increasing and really lobbying for issues such as the London living wage, which has the employers that have taken this up has gone up sixfold with employers paying it. I want more people to pay that, because you and I have had this discussion before about low pay, it being an endemic issue that is not being addressed by government. And therefore, we now have well over 1 million people claiming universal credit in London, which is actually higher than claiming universal credit during the pandemic. Which is shameful, and the reason they're doing it is because they're not being paid enough. And so this is really important. It's a really important initiative. So I have, I think I've gone into the whole economic and the cost of living issues for people. I mean, if I can just look at this in another angle, it's about the extension of public transport. So particularly in my constituency in South London, we do have a dearth of tube stations. So it's about expanding what options there are. This morning, we've had the announcement that there is going to be Superloop 2, which is fantastic, because it means that those, it's very easy for people to get into central London. It's doing that circular route that often is difficult. So that is brilliant for people in my constituency that's happened. But the other issue, of course, is about the Bakerloo extension, which has been put on the back burner because it needs government commitment and government funding. We cannot do this in London alone. It has to be recognised as an issue for government. And in the meantime, what Sadiq Khan has said that he's going to do, and until that happens, is initiate the Baker Loop line, which literally follows the line of what the extension would be anyway, as a solution until we've got that extension. So, and these are all issues that help people with their cost of living, and ensuring that public transport and the environment is in a better place as well, because we are using public transport. And the Superloop buses, of course, are all electric buses. And I don't know if you've been on one of them. They're lovely. They are absolutely lovely. They're quiet, they're clean, fantastic way of getting around London. So I do that anyway. That is the role of any assembly member. If you strip it down to its absolute bare basics, what does an assembly member do? They scrutinise the mayor's decisions. They scrutinise the organisations that the mayor has responsibility for. So that's the Met Police, that's TfL, London Fire Brigade, and some planning issues as well. So I will continue doing that in the way that I have done for the last 3 years since I've been the London Assembly member for Lambeth and Southwark, and asking the tough questions of the mayor and those organisations that he has responsibility for. Riverside.